Gaining muscle is a hard game. Train 5 times per week intensely. Eat more than your appetite suggests, particularly high-protein foods like chicken. Roll your muscles to speed up recovery and reduce tension. Go to sleep at 10 o'clock. Step on the scale, measure. Repeat the cycle. While most of these don't seem fun, life can be optimized to support this trend of muscle growth. And yes, a little bit of work will be required. At the start, it's quite hard to stick to a consistent training schedule and lift heavy weights. It's hard to keep a clean diet, measure your calories, and eat enough protein. It's hard to prioritize going to bed early, deep breathing before bed, or stretching to relax and block in blue light. But essentially, this is how good habits are created, and then they function on autopilot. The thing is, once we make it a habit, training becomes more of a daily thing. You don't even think about it. Once your muscles become strong enough, maintenance is way easier. Once we instill good nutrition habits, learn to meal prep or snack properly. Once we set our sleep habits in order, deep sleep becomes a breeze. I use the high-quality BCAAs scale to measure my body, particularly the percentage of muscle and fat was one of my primary interests. So the results show I weigh at around 68 kilograms, which is 150 pounds. 17% of that is fat, so at around 11.7 kilograms, I believe, and 78% of that is muscle, so 53.3 kilograms. Good thing is visceral fat, so the fat surrounding your organs is pretty low, which is a good thing. So while metrics-wise, for my age, height, and sex, I am at a so-called considerable healthy level, when I see the metrics of the healthiest people on the planet, using my bias and the research I have done, it's quite clear to me that I need to do some work to lower my body fat percentage and increase muscle mass to go towards the best body composition numbers in terms of achieving greater health, longevity, and optimizing for performance. So here are the 5 things I'm doing in the next 5 months to increase muscle mass. For the past 2 years, I trained for about 2 times weekly in the gym, so particularly for strength, taking into consideration everything from like vacation to travel schedules to work schedules to writing my master's thesis and starting my business. All in all, this is probably what I could have afforded. Now, for a beginner and in terms of health benefits, this can be enough. But if I want to increase my muscle mass, I need to bump up my training volume to at least 4 to 5 times a week. Here's what science says regarding weekly volume. About 10 to 20 sets per muscle group weekly is the optimal volume for hypertrophy. This means about 3 exercises per 3 sets equals 9 per muscle group, which is quite on the lower spectrum, almost insufficient. If we split the body into anterior and posterior chain and we try to train it in one training, it's close to impossible to fit 15 sets per muscle group per chain. Posterior chain consists of all the back and back shoulder muscles and hamstrings, glutes, calves, all the muscles on the back. Since some exercises train multiple muscle groups, to hit about 15 sets per muscle group, it would require about 8 to 10 exercises per train. Now, for someone who is deadlifting or squatting above their body weight, you know that 8 to 10 exercises per training is a lot of exercise if we're talking being efficiently done with maximal output. A more realistic scenario is splitting the body into 4 parts: frontal, posterior, and additionally split that into upper and lower. So you have 4 to 5 exercises per training x 3 sets, which will get you closer to about 10 to 15 sets per muscle group. So for example, if you have a push day, you're training your chest, arms, triceps, and front shoulders, so you would probably do it about 4 to 5 exercises x 3 sets, like the chest press, overhead press, triceps extensions, and push-ups. So first things first, I increase my training volume to 4 to 5 times weekly. Then there is a different training distribution I use. I like to call the fresh muscle set example. Hitting close to 15 sets is even difficult with the prior split that we've done, splitting the body into 4 parts. For hypertrophy, a slightly larger volume is required. So for example, in a single workout, generally about 6 sets per muscle group is where the highest ROI lies in, after which the effectiveness plateaus. Meaning if you train for the same muscle group and overextend that to push 20 sets per exercise, you're kind of losing a lot of that effectiveness. The muscle is not properly stimulated, you're just accumulating more and more what we like to call junk volume. Generally, this means that the first few sets count most and effectiveness slowly diminishes as we progress forward. So this begs the question, how to train more effectively, how to put more work into less time? By smarter distribution. See, this is why I've thought of the fresh muscle set workout. Let's say you do front for the lower body, so front legs. You're training your quads. Your main exercises include squats, lunges, and knee extension. Instead of hitting another quad-focused exercise, what if we can do a bench press while the chest muscle is well rested and fresh? In a way, we're doing the 3 most effective sets stimulating the chest once again. The idea is to stimulate the muscle when it's not depleted, when it's the most effective to stimulate the muscle. For example, if the chest hasn't done anything for the last 3-4 days, it's fresh for workout session, you hit the legs and then you just additionally add 1 chest exercise, do only 3 sets, x 10 reps, with a weight that's in the range of hypertrophy method, so 65 to 75% of rep max, and you deplete 70% of the chest's potential with just 1 exercise. This 1 exercise adds a lot of frequency and muscle stimulus while being very time effective. It uses the principle of first sets are more effective. If you find you're functioning on 50% and for whatever reason you want to upgrade to the next level and fill your battery up to 90%, you've come at the right place. We've distilled science on human health and performance into a simple, all-in-one guide. This way you can gain clarity on what are the top 11 highest ROI habits that help you unlock the next level of vitality, increase energy levels, and sharpen your focus. This blueprint covers things like fasting, nootropic, metabolic dieting, sleep tracking, and more, giving tools to break free from fatigue and function at your best, day after day. It's a digital set comprised of a 150+ page ebook, 13 high-quality videos explaining each topic and the context behind it, and a 4-week habit tracker. If you're ready to unlock lasting energy and peak productivity, you can grab it now. Scan the QR code or links in the description. The optimal protein intake to support muscle anabolism with training hovers at around 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For me, being 70 kilos, that's just above 100 grams of protein. Besides eggs and meat, which are great animal-based sources, I also eat a lot of plant-based protein as well. Due to slightly lower bioavailability, I'm trying to hit a higher target of around 120 grams daily. Now let's talk about the intra-workout or around workout supplements that I will use. We all know the importance of protein in building muscle and supporting muscle protein synthesis. While carbs are required to give the muscle the energy it needs to perform and replenish glycogen reserves, proteins are crucial to build the actual muscle fibers. This is why I'll be taking 3 specific supplements that can help also provide the quick energy source of fuel that the muscle needs to perform, and the necessary amino acids and proteins that are needed in the body or most important in the body to sort of support this muscle protein synthesis during the day. BCAA, creatine, and extra leucine. So BCAAs, or branched-chain amino acids, are the 3 very important amino acids that I believe comprise about 35 to 45% of all essential amino acids in the muscle. These are extremely important for athletic performance, and numerous studies have shown that depleting them decreases performance, while repleting them can be positive for both increasing muscle mass and also in endurance runners for not getting into that catabolic window and detrimental deterioration in performance. There are three BCAAs: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Isoleucine and valine are vital for energy production and muscle recovery. Leucine is one of the most important amino acids for muscle protein synthesis, which studies show it's the most potent stimulator of an anabolic pathway called mTORC1. And then there's creatine, which serves as a quick energy replenishment for the muscle. Basically, creatine phosphate helps donate one phosphate group to ADP to remake ATP. Put it in simple, humanly understandable words, it's just increasing the efficacy and the speed, the rate of energy recovery in the body so the muscle can perform back quick. There's also pretty strong data supporting creatine's effectiveness in both increasing strength, improving muscle mass, and also enhancing cognitive function. To increase my calorie intake, I do two things. I increase the portion size of my breakfast and dinner by about 10 to 15%, eating the same things I did before, and I also make sure to store healthy snacks in the gym where I work so I can eat in between. Fruits, nuts, chocolate, and BCAAs make the bag. The fourth thing is increasing my calorie count. So, generally, my BMR or basal metabolic rate, which is the calories I burn at rest, is around 1.65k. So, with all the trainings and all the walking and all the activity I do, I burn at around 2,500 calories daily. So in order for me to grow muscle, I'll need an extra calorie surplus of around 200 to 300 calories in total. I'm trying to increase my calorie intake to about 2,800 daily. Generally, if you're training hard but not gaining muscle, it's quite simple. We're probably not eating enough calories. And trust me, I've seen it all around. You don't even have to look at the science or the research to confirm it. Everyone I know that grew sizable amount of muscle, significant amount of muscle, they were eating like it was a sport. Like anytime I went in their house or talked to them, they were eating. Not recommending it, but for most people that are training hard and can't gain muscle, the most likely reason why is not enough calories or not enough protein. Again, not recommending it, but it's a common thread I've seen around in people who have built significant amount of muscle. Now, this is a little problematic for me because all of my research is suggesting that catabolic activities, like things related to keto or fasting or calorie deficit, are linked to anti-aging and longevity. And now in the bulking phase, you actually have to overeat your calories and have to eat a lot of carbs, and you have to be more frequent, which is kind of fighting that notion. But the reason you want to gain muscle is because you want to have muscle for longevity. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, finding the exact right balance between the two to gain the most muscle that's effective for longevity, but not overdo it, to not overstimulate anabolic activity, to still have those catabolic anti-aging things running in the body. It's quite a long topic, so I'll probably do a podcast on this. Last thing is testosterone support, and one of the ways I do it is by taking vitamin D, at least in the winter. So supporting testosterone production during the muscle building phase is very important. Testosterone is essential. It's the primary driver of muscle protein synthesis. In winter, I don't get a lot of sun. It's pretty cloudy where I live. So while I do tend to focus on eating vitamin D-rich foods, things like sardines and mushrooms and eggs, as many people, it's pretty easy to run in a vitamin D deficit, particularly in winter. So what I do currently is 4 to 5 days on a weekly basis, I take around 5,000 EUs of vitamin D, and I make sure to have it around meals that contain fats that could help me absorb it better. Aside from creatine and maca, vitamin D is one of the supplements I subjectively feel way better taking, particularly during winter, particularly as it relates to this testosterone, libido, muscle gaining, energy for exercise and training kind of area, if that makes sense. That's around it for today. Here's the quick recap of the 5 things I will do to increase my muscle mass. Increase training volume to 4 to 5 times weekly. I use the fresh muscle set principle, adding one random muscle group in my training for only 3 sets when the muscle is ready, fresh, and not depleted, to ensure better time effectiveness and higher frequency and stimulus. Make sure to keep my muscle energy high by taking creatine, and make sure to support my muscle protein synthesis by taking more protein, particularly leucine and brain chain amino acids. I increased my calorie intake to fit around 300 calorie surplus, and I supplement vitamin D during winter time to support testosterone production and muscle protein synthesis in parallel. If you're into these kinds of things, I have a good article for you. Vitamin D benefits for muscle growth and testosterone. Here's a sneak peek. It's free. Go and read it. You'll get some of the science of why vitamin D can help you with your muscle gains and support muscle protein synthesis.